Hello, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a good Friday. I hope you've been a blessing to someone, and I pray they've been a blessing to you as well. But I wanted to just hop back on here again. Gotta have a video I've uploaded from this morning, but this is just in my spirit, and I wanted to just encourage somebody with this message. Is that again, I can't state this enough, but I'm reiterating it. Let's care more about others than we do ourselves. I notice there's been a few times, and I'm not, blaming anybody or trying to throw a pity party or anything because of the situations we find ourselves in. But there was this has been some months ago now, maybe a month or two ago, but I had drove my son's car. He actually he had my car because his car, he was waiting to get tires on it. Or no, actually he took my car because his car, I was taking his car for him to the tire place to get new tires put on it, all four tires. And so this particular day, which was on a Saturday, we couldn't make it. His tires were pretty bald, and they, we just couldn't make it. So I had to stop at the gas station to put air in the tire, in this one particular tire that was just really acting up. And then it just, it wouldn't go any farther. So anyway, long story short, ended up calling a tow truck. So we were on the parking lot of the I think it was an oil changing place. I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, it's several around town. And the gentleman there, I went in to ask. Now, there was one gentleman there, employee there. He was really actually wanting to help us. It was me and my daughters. And so, because my son was at work. And so we had our dog in the back seat. And so he was really genuinely concerned about helping us. And then he saw that he could not help us. So I ended up having to, because the tire was just too far gone, and it had cut into the rim of the tire, and it was a mess. And I was just like, I didn't sign up for this. I was trying to help him and take his car for him, but I didn't realize the car was going to do that. But anyway, if nothing else, it was a learning experience. And so we did that, and we ended up I ended up calling a tow truck. And so we sat there, and like I said, the guy that really was trying to help us, he wasn't really looking out at us, but it was some other employees there at the oil changing place. Never came out, to say, are you guys okay? Or is there anything that we can do? It wasn't anything they could do, but it was just a fact. Can you not just stare at us? Can you do more than stare at us? Can you lift a hand or see if we need anything or water or anything? But anyway, I guess we stayed there for about I don't know, because we had to get a tow truck, and I had to actually go through Google and try to find someone who was available, because I guess on Saturdays they're like super busy. So it was so frustrating, because I'm like, how can you have the money to do something and then not get the service? But I know you have to wait, and it's other people than myself that were needing a tow that day apparently. But anyway, we finally ended up getting a tow service, and the guy, he was real nice or whatever, and they came. But like I said, I think we sat there for probably about I don't know, maybe an hour, no, it was longer than an hour. It was probably 2 hours, possibly. It may have been just a little bit over that. But I was like, wow, people were pulling into the lot. You see these three women looking as though they need help, and you could clearly see on the car the tire was messed up. But again, there was nothing that anyone could do, because we had already called for service. But what I'm saying is that people are so consumed and so concerned with what they have going on that they don't even look at anyone else. And same thing happened with this car I'm in now. I was at the gas station the other night. It was earlier this week, and I had been having a little issues with my car, and I had shared that on here. But and come to find out, it was loose wires. That's all it was. But I had been having some issues, and I couldn't understand. I'm like, why is this car all of a sudden, cutting off and not starting sometime? And I'm like, well, what's going on there? Because I had never had any trouble out of it. And so anyway, the guy at the AutoZone on, I think it was yesterday, it was day before yesterday. He said, I could tell you exactly what's going on. He said, you have loose wires. And he said, you're not getting a good, clear connection because, and I'm like, how can all these other people that have looked at my car not have, noticed that? But I was like, okay. So anyway, he said, I'm going to take care of you. He said, he was the assistant manager. He said, I'm going to tighten the wires up for you and you should be good to go. So praise the Lord. I haven't had any more issues since that incident. But, and then also at the, when I took it to the dealership, the guy, and I sort of, my son said, Mom, I think they got you just at $200 because he said, what did they do? And I said, well, I took it to them, and that's another thing. Well, let me stay on track. I'll go back to that. But anyway, going back to the when I was at the service station the other night, first of this week, and the car had cut off, and this was the next day. This is the next day after I had been to the dealership, and I pumped my gas and went in to start the car would not start. So I'm like, what in the world is going on? And so anyway, my son had to come when he come from home to get me started, the battery, and it came right on. That was the end of that. And so then the following day is when I took it to AutoZone, and he told me what was going on with the wires being loose and all. But there were several people that had pulled into the gas station, is the point I'm trying to make. And they were all men. And no one ever, there's one lady, but I was noticing they're saying, they were all just looking away. It was just like nobody, and when I go somewhere, I look all around me. I can pretty much notice, like if you were to give me a pop quiz on who was in that store, or who did you notice, or who was in that getting gas besides yourself. I'm going to be able to answer those questions because, I'm being alert. I'm taking notice of my surroundings. So I'm not for sure what that is and what that even means. How people are just, maybe they're tending to their business. Or I was telling my son, because he even asked me that, and I said, maybe people think, I don't want to get involved because I don't want any trouble. And, the way the world is now, maybe they think they're going to get shot or stabbed or hurt real bad. I don't know. But, back in the day where I come from, you help people. I don't care. I'm just a bleeding heart for others. And I really genuine. My stepfather, he's like that. That's one thing we have in common. And, I picked up people alongside the road, not now, but years ago, and helped them. I, did whatever I could. And God, I know he knows that. That's how he built me. But I'm just trying to figure out, why would you not want to, help somebody? That could be you. That's what I'm always thinking about. That could be me in that situation. That could be me needing help. So, why, if nothing else, let me help, because I want to be able to help. I want someone to help me when I need help. But again, I guess people don't think about that. They don't care, But I'm just trying to figure out, I'm like, how did we get here? How did we get to this place of, just so unconcerned, don't care, no, that's your problem. I don't care what you dealing with. I got my stuff going on. So, that's you. And I noticed all of the men, even my son said, Mama, I noticed that none of those men tried to come. I said, no, they didn't. They didn't. And I'm not, that's their, prerogative or whatever, not wanting to do that. But it was just like, wow, nobody's going to come over here and ask me, or do we need help, or do we, now that's one thing I can say. Back in the day, if someone saw you struggling, or you appeared to be struggling, they would come over to you in a heartbeat, and some of them would have, other motives sometimes, but not all the time. Not all the time. They would genuinely be, most of the time, they would genuinely be concerned, and they would be like, hey, what's going on? Is it something I can do? Is it something I can do to help? If I can't help, can I go call for help? So again, I don't know how we got to this place where we're just so unconcerned. We're so uncaring, and just, everybody's for themselves. And like I said, you can have a million things going on, but that does not constitute you to be uncaring. That does not constitute you to be, looking away from somebody else, what they're dealing with. That doesn't give you that right. We're supposed to be down here to help one another and to be there for one another. And a lot of times people try to figure out, well, and I know this has been an old thing. I hear this a lot in my family. People I work with, they'll say, well, nobody ever helped me, or nobody ever did that for me, but why are you keeping tabs on that? That should be even the more reason for you to help somebody else, because nobody helped you. That should be your what is it? That should be your you're gonna be even more determined. That should be your strive. I'm gonna help somebody because they didn't help. No one helped me, so I want to help somebody. That should be the reason too. That should be your reason why. But again, I just don't understand it. I really don't, why people are like that. I've noticed that. I've noticed that here lately a lot, and they just look straight ahead, And like I said, I get that, people don't want any trouble, and people are, people do have ulterior motives, and they do, you going over to help them, and they're trying to rob you. So that's true. I'm not debating. I'm not what is it? I'm not saying that that's not true, but what I am saying is that, if you know that you can help somebody and be there for somebody in a situation, go ahead and do it. Don't be just always thinking the worst. Don't be thinking, well, if I do that, then this is going to happen. It's not always the worst case scenario. Sometimes it's the best case. And we gotta, like I said, we have to get out of that mindset thinking somebody's always gonna do the worst. I think that I believe that's what a lot of people, that's what's going on. And if I have anything to blame it on, I want to say it's because of that. Because the state the world is in today, and people are just, they're so deceiving. And like I said, you got your mind on doing one thing, and they got their mind on doing 10 other things. They say, I found me an opportunity. Let me rob this woman, or let me rob this man. So, that's just how people are. They looking to get something out of something, and they don't care if they have to hurt you or what. They want to do it. They want to do it because because they see an opportunity. So again, we just have to stay prayed up and stay before the Lord and ask Him to help us in situations. But again, I wanted to share that because I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that. If you have, place it down in the comments. But I have just been noticing that, just how people are just so, it's just so uncaring, and maybe they do care, maybe they do, because I can't tell because they don't do that they're uncaring, but I'm going by what I'm experiencing during that particular situation, because I'm like, I know how I am. I shared this a little while back. The young man that was in front of where we live, the condos, had just finished delivering doing DoorDash, And I just happened to know. I know that was nobody but Jesus allowed me to notice him, because which I always, when I get out the car, I always sort of look around and aware of my surroundings. But I noticed, I was like, why is it? And well, the first flag was he had his hood up, so I was like, okay. And he looked, like I said, appeared to be around my youngest son age, in his early 20s. And so I was like, let me go put I was really sort of tired that day, but I was like, let me go put my stuff in the house, and then let me come back out and check on this young man, because he's my son age, and I want to check on him, make sure he's good. And so that's what I did. I went up them steps and come back down, and my daughters are like, Mom, what are you doing? And I said, I'll be back, and because they know when I see a need or see somebody, that's my cue right there to help somebody. And so I've been through too much not to lend a helping hand. So anyway, that's when I spoke to him, and he told me what was going on. And he said, I said, you're a DoorDasher? He said, I was. He said, that's what I was doing. But he said, now I came out here, my car won't start. And see, that's another, see, I could have not helped him, but I would never do that, because, again, I saw an opportunity, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And he could have turned me away. I saw him, dialing on his phone. He had his phone up to his ear, and I noticed, and I was like, oh, okay. But he, apparently whoever he was calling, I'm not for sure who he was calling, but he, apparently they never were coming, or he told them not to come. I'm not for sure, but he was calling somebody. And then after I told him that my son was gonna help him, he sort of, I guess he told them not to come, or like I said, I don't know if he actually had someone coming or not. I'm not for sure, but my son ended up helping him, and I was sort of hoping that that no one did come, because I wanted my son to specifically to help him. So again, if you see somebody in need of help, I'm serious, help them. I don't care, just help them, because God is watching, and he's watching everything we're doing. And don't be that person, don't be that woman, don't be that man, well, I'm not, I don't want to be bought, I don't have time, or because you may be in need one day, and you think you got all these numbers you can call, or people that you can call on to help, but they may not be available. So you may find yourself needing someone else to help you. So that's why it's all the more reason to help somebody when you can. Do what you can while you can. I pray, as always, you have a blessed, beautiful end of your Friday. I pray you have a beautiful, blessed weekend. I don't know if I'll upload a video this weekend. I'm not for sure, but if I do, you will definitely know it. Again, I pray all of your prayers that you have ever prayed to Jesus, that they are answered according to his holy, perfect will and divine will for your life. Always remember, I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of your Friday. Bye-bye.